Welcome to our Advanced Seated Arm Strength course. So as you may have guessed from the title, this is going to be a little bit harder than the other arm courses you might have taken. And one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to add an intensifier to most of the things that we've done previously. So there are a lot of different ways to make things harder, even from a chair. So what I'm going to do is every single time we perform an exercise, I'm going to give you some special instructions on how to do it. If you've taken one of our If you've taken one of our previous arm courses, we're going to be doing some very similar exercises. The movements aren't going to be much different. But what we're going to be doing is adding a new element to them to make them a little bit harder. And you're going to have to just listen in to make sure you know what that is on every exercise, because we're going to be using a whole array of different kinds of intensifiers. So the very first thing that we're going to do is going to be some dumbbell curls today. So previously, anytime that we've done dumbbell curls, we work on one while the other rests. The intensifier that we're going to use on this one is that neither arm is going to be resting, because what we're going to do is we're going to go up here, down here, down here. It's going to go up, up, down, down, up, down, down. So you're going to be spending a lot more time under tension. So the amount of time that our muscles stay under the tension of a contraction is a way to amplify the intensity of any kind of exercise. So what we're going to start with today is called up, down, down with the curls, okay? We're gonna aim for 20 total repetitions. If you feel like I'm done and you can keep going, feel free to do more than that, okay? So get into the same position that I'm in now. I want you to scoot towards the front of your chair. Make sure you've got room to move the dumbbells past your legs. So usually your feet are gonna have to be a little closer than shoulder width apart. Get in a nice upright position and try to, as much as possible, not slouch as we go. As it gets harder, people tend to slouch forward. Try to maintain an upright if at all possible, okay? 20 total repetitions starting now. We're at about halfway. And there's the last one. So let's put that guy down. And we'll shake the arms out for just 1 second. One other thing that we are going to do slightly differently during this course is we are going to do 2 rounds of every exercise. So every time we're going to do an exercise, you can take the opportunity to put the implement down, the band or the dumbbell, whatever it is. You can put it down for a second, or you can just hold on to it, because we're going to jump right back into the same exercise, and we're going to do it twice. So with that being said, let's pick up those dumbbells one more time. And we're going to do the same thing here, which is going to be up, down, down, and we're going to do 20 total repetitions per arm, which means that we're actually getting to 40. Okay, same thing, 20 repetitions, start now. We're halfway. And there we are. We're done. And you can put those guys down for a second and let the arms shake out. So one of the things you'll figure out about the arms, if you didn't have much burning or discomfort in the previous courses that we've done, is that you can build up a lot of burn sensation and you can usually keep going. So I'd encourage you to kind of push through that discomfort a little bit, because the discomfort of kind of a little bit of swelling that we get, which is good swelling, and a little bit of burn that we get in the muscles, that's actually really good. We'll adapt to that over time and it'll help make us stronger. But just know, if you need to, you can kind of let your arms rest, shake them out, almost like you're in the rain, you're trying to shake the water off, that sort of thing. And every single time we do this, it's going to get just a little bit different type of intensity. So just know that each day we're going to be doing some similar exercises, just with a different parameter around them. So the next exercise that we're going to do is a circle with our wrists, but we're going to do it while holding onto a ball. So one of the things our wrist and our grip is really good at is gripping in neutral. But one of the things that people tend to have a problem with is gripping when they're in a different position other than neutral, where their wrist is not sitting right in the middle. So this is an exercise that's really easy for you to alter according to whatever level of strength you're at, because if you're stronger, just grip harder. If you feel like you're just a beginner with these things, you barely even have to hold on. So the way that you're going to make it a little bit easier or a little bit harder, just squeeze more or squeeze less. That's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start today by leaning forward so that our elbows are on top of our thighs, and we're going to try to isolate down to just our forearm and our grip when we do this exercise. As opposed to up here, we'll get a lot of shoulder and other things. Okay? So you're going to start by taking a ball. Doesn't matter what kind of ball, preferably something that's not completely rigid like a baseball. I've got a lacrosse ball here. You could use a tennis ball, other such things as well. And I want you to make sure that you grip it using all 5 fingers. So one of the things that tends to happen a lot of the time is people leave their thumb out, or people leave their pinky finger and ring finger out. So I want you to put that ball right in the middle of your palm, squeeze it with all 5 fingers. So it doesn't have to be a strong squeeze, but what we're going to do is we're going to aim the ball across our body or straight up, and all you're going to do is squeeze and do some circles. One thing you'll probably notice, because most people do, is you're going to get some clicking and some popping, and it might even sound like clunking in there. As long as it's not sending any pains into your fingers, that's entirely fine. Everyone clicks and pops when they squeeze and they move around like this. Just know that that's entirely normal. Okay, so get into position, open your hand, put the ball right in the middle of your palm, grab it with all 5 fingers, give it a little bit of a harder squeeze than what it takes to hold on to it, and then we're going to do 10 circles one direction, followed by 10 in the other direction, and we're going to go slow. Okay, so start that now. We've got 10 one way. Let's switch and go the other way. Good. So there's 10 each direction. Let's give that hand a break. Take the ball in the other hand, put it right in that kind of bowl in the middle of your palm. Squeeze it with all 5 fingers. Aim your palm in whichever direction you want, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do 10 circles in one direction. We've got 10 going one way. Let's do 10 the other direction. Good. So that's one round through each hand. We're going to do another one. Okay, so switch back to the first hand that you did. Open that palm up, put the ball right in the middle of your palm, squeeze down with all 5 fingers, and let's start with 10 in one direction. That's 10 one way. Let's do 10 in the other direction. Good. We've got 10 the other direction now. So let's switch hands, jump right over to the other side, put it right in the middle of your palm, squeeze with all 5 fingers, and let's do 10 circles in one direction. Good. Once you've done 10 one way, we'll do 10 the other. Good. So there's 10 reps there, and you can take the ball and put it back now. For our next exercise, we are going to be doing something new we haven't done before, and that's going to be with a TheraBand. And this is called a Tate press. It's actually named after someone who primarily trains powerlifters because it's a unique way to train your triceps, the back of your arms, without putting much stress into your elbows, which is something that really strong people need to be able to do. So what we're going to do is we are going to take the band, We're going to wrap it around us, and we're going to scoot it up till it's essentially right underneath our armpits. And what we're going to do is cross it over so that it forms an X in front of or just below our chest. It's entirely up to you exactly the height that we're at. But what we're going to do is we're going to essentially let our knuckles touch in towards our sternum, and then we're going to press straight out here in front of us and back again. So generally, it's going to be a little bit harder the lower your knuckles go. It's going to be a little easier the higher they go. But for the most part, you just want to have your knuckles facing each other in the middle, and then you kind of press them out straight into the middle until your arms go straight out, and then come straight back again. Okay? So we're going to do 15 reps like that. And at the bottom, I don't want you to let your arms relax and touch your chest. I want you to keep them so that your forearms form something like a straight line, but they never fully rest at the bottom. Okay? We're going to do 15 reps of that starting right now. And we've just got 2 reps left. Good, and then you can let the band just relax for a second. Let the arms kind of shake out. So if you take the band and you put it right up underneath your armpit, right up here, it tends to be a little uncomfortable underneath the armpit, a little harder on the triceps, but easier on the shoulders. The lower it goes, the more you have to hold the band up with your shoulders, so the harder it gets on the shoulders. It's not necessarily a good or bad thing. It just depends on exactly what you want to do and what's more comfortable for you. Okay, so let's go a little bit higher this time is what I'm going to do. And we're going to do 15 more reps. So again, it's right up underneath the armpits, wrapped around the back, and you have it crossed across the front of you. 15 more reps starting now. And if you want to make it harder, all you've got to do is just grab a little further up the band. Good, we've got 10 reps there, got 5 more. Good, and there's 15. And you can get rid of the band and just let it relax for now. The last exercise that we're going to do today is going to be some arm circles. But one of the intensifiers that we use on this is what we call a drop set. Meaning we do a difficult version until we get to the point where it feels really difficult, and then we make it a little bit easier, and then we work to the point that it's a little bit difficult, and then we make it a little bit easier again. So in the weight room, a lot of people do this with weights, where they'll use some heavy weights, and then once they get close to the point of failure, they'll use medium weights, and then they'll keep going until they can't use that anymore, and then they use light weights, all in one big set without taking a break. One of the ways that we can do that, if we don't have options of a bunch of different weights, is what we call a mechanical drop set, which just means we do the exercise in a difficult position, and then we go to a relatively easy position, and then we go to the easiest position. So what we're going to do is arm circles, and we're going to do what's called a mechanical drop set. So we're going to start with our arms kind of up in a Y position, and we're going to do about 20 repetitions there. We're going to drop into a T. We're going to do 20 repetitions there, and then we're going to drop down until our arms are just off of our sides, and we're going to do 20 repetitions there. Don't be surprised if it starts to burn a lot, but it should go away pretty quickly. And because this is our last exercise of the day today, feel free to push it pretty hard. You can go either forward or backwards, and you can aim your palms in whatever direction you choose. Up, forward, down, it's entirely up to you. Most people find that the further their arms go up, the more their thumbs like to be up, and the further they go down, the more room they have to go whatever direction they want. So let's start up in kind of a Y position like we were doing the YMCA dance, and we're going to do 20 circles, and then I'm going to tell you when I'm dropping. You can do it before that if you want. Okay? 20 circles starting now. Good, so there's 20, and we're going to come down to a T and keep going with 20 more. And we're done 20 there, so let's drop them down to our sides and do 20 more circles there. and there's 20 there. You can take a breath and let the arms relax. So one of the reasons that I like giving us long sets for our shoulders is because that tends to be what helps with most people's lives. And when it comes down to it, a lot of the time we don't spend much time with our arms over our head in our day-to-day lives, but as soon as we do, it becomes very difficult. Even just if we have to reach up overhead to organize things on a shelf, or we have to reach for something, or say we're working under our car, or we have to reach the ceiling to change a light bulb, most of us, our shoulders fatigue very, very quickly. So a lot of our shoulder exercises in this course are just going to be long sets to get a little more endurance and strength into our shoulders. That's it for day number 1. Look forward to seeing you on day number 2.